Hi, today we will be seeing the MIT calculator app. Somewhere asking me how to do this one. So let me explain you how to do the calculator app. So this will be the designer part and the coding part. Now in the designer part, I will start by doing a new project. So MIT App Inventor. I'll open a new project now. Type in the name of the project, calculator. Uh, I've given the name of the project as calculator one. So here, if you analyze the screen, what I've done, this is a title, two text box I've added, and to get the numbers like number one and number two. This is a label, label one, label two, and the result part will be displayed over here. And there are 5 buttons which are horizontally aligned. This is the designing part. Now, quickly we will do it. Go to under the palette, go to the user interface. Under the user interface, you can add a label here. And then I'm going to add this one, label and text box. So here, label, you can center it by clicking onto the screen and make it center aligned. Rename it by scrolling down all the way down. You will have the label one, and the size I'm going to keep it as 35 and make it bold. And scroll down, text part, you can change it as calculator. Later. Now, inside this, I'm going to get the number 1. And below this, we can label it as number 1. Text for label 2, I'm going to change it as enter number 1. And the font size can be a little bigger. So 20. Now, next one will be text box 2 again. And here, this, I want a label. Below that, enter number 2. So all the properties of each one, each element or the components what I'm dragging and dropping in the screen, you will have the properties on the right end. If you make changes over here, you can see the reflection of it on the screen. So the font size have changed here. The text part enter number 2 also changed. So now I have number 1, number 2 and both the labels and the title. This is totally fine now. Now the rest of the things I've added is the result part. I'm just adding another label. So this I'm going to change it as result. And the size, font size, I'm going to make it as 35 to be bigger. Now comes the interesting part here. In the user, so far we were doing the entire drag and drop thing is from the user interface. Now we are going to go to the layout. So if you click onto the user interface, it minimizes the content inside, the components inside. You get to see the entire palette here. Now click onto the layout over here. You have the horizontal arrangement. Drag and drop it here. And inside this, we are going to add the buttons. So to add the buttons, go to user interface, drag and drop the button inside the horizontal alignment arrangement. So you get the structure this way. Drag few more buttons because we need the buttons for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the clearing button. So add buttons parallelly one after the other, 4th button and 5th button. So I have buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all in one horizontal alignment arrangement. Now button 1, rename it. The reason I'm asking you to rename is it is easy for you when you go to the design part. This button 3 will be subtracting button. Button 4 will be multiplying button. And button 5 will be division button. The last button is clear button. So I'm just going to clear the entire content of the text box. Now each button I'm going to resize the properties. So here the font size I'm going to make it as 20 and the text part is going to be plus the addition symbol. I'm going to make the font also bold. So tick here. You can tick here so it will get enabled. Go to the sub part. Here the font size is 20. font bold, and then text box is negative, subtraction. Multiplication, same properties repeat again. It should look similar. What are the properties you are giving for a particular button? That has to be that has to be the same style for the entire thing. So one button bigger, one button smaller will not make sense. It will not look in a proper way in the app. So you have to have same sizes, the font size and the content. So here we have 20. The text is multiplication. Division, I'm again changing to 20. The text is / and clear button. This is 20. And I'm going to add C. C is also fine, or CLR is also fine. So now we have a perfect shape for everything. All looks perfect. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So this is the screen. And if you want to change add some style, you can go to the screen part, change the background color, click here and change it to the color of your choice. You can change the background color. And if you want to change the screen one title also, you can change it as calculator. These are some added styling part which you can do it. Or if you want to type in your name also, you can type in your name, calculator by your name. Yes, you can see on the top here, the calculator and your name. This is for the designing part. Hope you are clear with this. Now moving on to the blocks part. Inside the blocks part, if you see, I'm going to add these things like when add button is clicked on, the label 4 I have defined, which is nothing but the result button, the result label, the text result will be changing into the number 1 and number 2 added number. The sum of them will be displayed in the result part. That is how we are going to code it now. Now go to the MIT App Inventor. In the App Inventor, added part. So when the add button is clicked, now go to label text box 1 and text box 2. This is for the numbers. So here, scroll down. Set text box text. It will be arranged alphabetically. So set text box, not text box 1. It will be set the result part. So this is why I ask you to rename here. So this label is the title. So rename it here, title. Then text box 1 is for the number 1. Rename it as number 1. Then this one is title. This is enter the number. 1 label. This enter 1 label. Enter number 1 label. And this is, rename this as number 2 text box. And this is number 2 label. And finally, the result part, rename it as result. So here is where we are going to go. Okay, go to the blocks part. So when add button is clicked here, now it is easier for you to drag and drop things. See, when set the result text to result. So go to the text part, add a blank part. So blank block. From the text, you can take the blank one and type in here the result. Now we are going to change. This can be thrown in trash. I'm deleting it. Now I'm going to take the other one. Set result text again. You can duplicate it also, or you can add it like this. Just swapping the places. Set result text to. Now we are going to do the addition operation. So go to the math. In the math, add this part. And here the number 1 and number 2 has to be added. So number 1, the text part will be num1 number 1 dot text. This one I'm going to add it. Go to number 2 dot text. So finally we have the add block just like this. So we have the label made as a result, and this label we will have adding both the values and the answer will be entered over there. So like this same thing, once you've created the first ad, the rest of them will be super easy. You can click and copy and duplicate it. So you will get the subtraction You can duplicate the multiplication and division. So you have 4 blocks. Change this to subtraction, change this one to multiplication, change this one to division. Now the rest of them remain the same except this part. Instead of addition, we are going to change it to math. Go to math and change that into subtraction over here. Add the subtraction block, drag and drop the num1 here and drag and drop the num2. And for the multiplication, go to the math, drag and drop the multiplication thing, and the number 1 and number 2 has to be multiplied. And the last one is division. Go to math and then you can add, drag and drop this one. You have number 1, number 2. So finally you have 3 things, all the 4 things are ready. Now clearing part. So clearing part, this one. So we have to clear the result as well as the numbers which have got as input. So here we are going to clear all these things now. For that, when this clear button is clicked, add this one. When clear button is clicked, you have to clear the result as well as set the result text to blank. So this has to be made blank. Or you can make the result, you can reset to result also. And also the input numbers, number 1, number 2. So that has to be kept as blank. So duplicate this one. So here set the number 1 label and set the number 2 label. These both, we are going to make it as blank. So just delete this one so that you will get a blank one if the number is there, the one which you have previously entered. So coming to the completion. So this is the calculator's design part. This is the block part. So both are done. Now you can connect it through the Connect AI companion. So when you click onto this AI companion, you will be getting the code, QR code. So scan the QR code through your MIT AI2 companion, which is in your mobile. I hope you can see the app over here. So when you click onto it and you can scan it. So once you scan this, you can see the progress bar on the screen. And this progress bar. Now the app is visible over here. I hope you can see the app over here. Now let's test it. 30 and 20. Adding it, I'm getting 50. Then subtracting, I'm getting as 90. So if it's not visible, let me show you the thing over here. Can you see my screen now? I hope this is visible. So this is the calculator app. Now I'm going to test it like 40 and 50. Adding, I'm getting 90. Subtracting, I'm getting minus 10. And the multiplying 2000, dividing 0.8 and clear it. So it's clearing entire thing and result also is resuming back to the result. So this is how the calculator app works. So you will be seeing in your mobile in this way. You are scanning through the MIT App Inventor. So when you scan, you will be getting continue without Wi-Fi. Click on to that continue without Wi-Fi and click on to scan QR code and you can scan it. Once the scanning is done, you will be getting the screen this way and you will be completing it. Hope this is clear now. So complete this app.